agree with Alan Greenspan, we ought to just eliminate the debt ceiling. Oh, absolutely, we do.
The ability of almost every working American to access more credit than they should have been able to masked the underlying fact that lower and middle class incomes were not rising.
That's not a tenable strategy. Isn't now the time to eliminate it? Oh, it would have been time a long time ago.
Let's put aside terrorism. Let's talk only about our own homegrown animals that are patrolling America right now. So it goes down to the simplest thing. Be prepared, be vigilant.
2017, the year of the prepper. It's the year of the prepper, my friends. Welcome into the I Am Liberty show. Thank you for joining me. I've got a weekend for the prepper planned ahead of me. It's the incredible SGK Prepper Expo, which Southeastern Guns and Knives takes up about 3/4 of the space, and you get 1/4 of the space for preppers, and it's still substantial. It's still the group that puts the show on does an amazing job. They really do. There are 4 separate demo rooms. You know, some of them are talks, some of them are demos. And what I've got is a reason to be up there all day for 2 days, because I'm giving a speech myself on community preparedness. And I'm excited, okay? I'm excited to cruise around. I'm probably going to put most of the event up on Twitter Live. I'll probably Twitter Live most of it. So if you're bored tomorrow or Sunday and you don't feel like watching TV, follow me at I Am Liberty Show, and I will be live from the Prepper Expo in Doswell, Virginia, 21st, 22nd. Having a ball. Having a ball, man. Picking up knives, playing with guns, talking to other preppers, selling my freelance writing services, selling books, talking about the community. Everything that I love. You know? It's a big thing. It's a big thing in life. You really gotta fold that in. You gotta start to fold that in and figure out a way to fold that in ASAP. What do I have? 60? 50? I mean, if I'm lucky, I got a good 50 years, right? That's barring any cataclysm that takes me out, barring any altercation, whatever could happen. But you got about 50 years, that's it. You got about 50 good years if you're my age. You better enjoy them. That's all I'm going to say about it. You know, you better damn well enjoy them. I don't know if anybody's doing the 15-day fire challenge, 15 days of fire in October. I've been doing it. I've been playing around. I've been having a good time. I've had some successes. I've had some failures. Most recently on my Twitter channel, I've been really getting into Twitter Live lately. I really like it. I'm amazed that when I go on to Twitter Live, and I do it sparsely, that people pop up. And to be honest with you, and you guys let me know if this is something you'd want to see, I'm almost thinking about doing another show. Because Twitter Live is completely free. You know, so when it comes to podcasting, you got to pay. You got to pay for them to air that, right? But I think about AM radio. Every night, 5 days a week, you know, it's not recorded. It goes out into the airwaves. You know, people pirate it nowadays so they can throw it on YouTube and get views off of it. But how would you feel about a Twitter Live episode of the I Am Liberty show once a week? I don't know what day. I'd have to sit down and think about what day. Friday nights aren't bad. But I don't know if I want to commit to Friday nights. I'm already live Wednesday, and I already do a pre-recorded show. And I know maybe I get rid of the pre-record altogether. I don't know. I'm not really 100% sure, but I will tell you this much. I do like the prospect of... Can I get over here? I do like the prospect of a live show. Coming at you live, Twitter Live. It's got me almost thinking about getting... See, but Libsyn is so cheap. Podcasting is so cheap. I think I spend, $20 a month, something like that. It's really not that much money. Even on an annual basis, it's not that much money. So it's not breaking my heart at all. It's not breaking my heart at all. It's not breaking my bank, but I've had a lot of thoughts about it. There's a live chat in the Twitter Live, which is another great thing. You know, you're taking things that people pay lots of money for these days and kind of making it happen. for free on Twitter. And I can promise you this, though they may be silencing opponents and doing some shady stuff on Twitter, they're not going anywhere. They are not going anywhere. They're in a battle. Between them, Facebook, YouTube, they're in a battle for your attention. No. Okay, all right, good. We've got police officers everywhere. We have this business park here in my neighborhood where they need police officers to come out in order for people to understand how to pull out. In other words, they can't pull out of the business park without having police there to Oh boy, help me. Help me. I've got an exciting night ahead of me. I know you don't care. Headed to the supermarket alone. I mean, you're a father of 2 kids and you're raising 2 kids full time. Never forget, prepping, business owner, raising 2 children as we speak, as I'm trying to make a living. It's not easy. It's not an easy thing. So when you get moments like this, when you're headed to the supermarket and it's like, well, I'm alone. I can look at whatever I want for as long as I want. I can look at limes for 5 minutes to find I can look at avocado. I can spend 20 minutes on avocados, finding the finding the perfect avocado for guacamole. It's insane. I'll tell you this much for those dads out there. Oh, by the way, the Tactical Dads podcast should be out today. Yeah, I'm pretty sure it was supposed to come out Friday. And yours truly is on there as a guest. And it was a lot of fun. It was a good one. So thetacticaldads.com is the website. If you go, I'll post it up on my website too. I just forgot about it till now, to be honest with you. You think once you get into things like that, you start doing podcasts, you would get real excited and like, oh man, here I am again. Here's my voice again. I'm so famous. I'm incredibly unfamous, and I think I like that. But you think you would get excited about those types of things. I want to post it and show everybody and tell everybody all about it. You get kind of like, meh, but what am I? What it is you enjoy the conversation more than listening back, more than posting it, more than That's what the podcast has become, right? When I first got into this thing, man, it was brutal. I'd get guests to come on my podcast, and they'd be preppers, and they'd be selling clickbait, and they'd send me a list of questions to ask them, and it would be like, oh, God, it was the worst. I only took a few of those. I can't say the name of the guy who was the worst, but he's still out there in the field. I guess he's making money because he's still out there. He still has his website, but I'll never forget it. I'll never forget it because I'm a conversationalist when it comes to podcasting and in life, really. And I try to throw this guy a curveball, right? Not to get him in trouble or anything like that. Just, let's talk about something other than these questions. I'm going to plug my own question in there that was pertinent to what we were talking about. This guy bulldozed me. He literally said, I think what you meant to ask me was da. He couldn't even go off script for one question. It was the worst. I said to myself, if I had to do this for a living, oh my God, it would be the most terrible living you could make. Just having some hack come in and sell to an audience that doesn't care. What do audiences care about these days? I think about what I care about. When I listen to a show, I want to hear some news. I want to hear something that kind of rocks my world a little bit. I want to hear something that has some passion to it, right? You want to hear somebody who's kind of passionate about what they're talking about. And what else do you want to hear? Enlightening thoughts, maybe some, things that get you going in the morning, those types of things, inspirational thoughts. I don't know. I try to model my show after what I want to hear from other people, but I know sometimes it's just like, Like today, I haven't really looked at the news. I don't have any crazy news to bring to you. And sometimes that's nice. Because crazy news often ends in death, right? I don't want to bring you a story about Al-Shabaab. Nobody wants to hear about Al-Shabaab and how they're rampaging through different parts of the world doing things that are just as heinous as ISIS. Nobody wants to listen to it. Though it is motivation, right? Though it is motivation when you're at that range or you're waking up early and you're getting in that workout and you think to yourself about that scuzzy, dirty monster who lives in the Middle East and maybe traipsed his way into your home country. And he's sitting up in some government-paid apartment, card full of food stamps, 3 wives, 7 kids, and he's plotting the end for you. You know, that's not really an accurate statement, though. You never really run into a lot of these guys who are Muslim, who have multiple wives and multiple children who killed themselves. It's almost like you have to get the 20-somethings who haven't figured it out yet, and they're the ones that'll off themselves for Allah. But once you get married and have the children, it doesn't seem like those guys are the ones committing the heinous crimes. If you take note to those types of things, which I do, all right? I spend a lot of time. I spend a lot of time wondering and worrying and wondering about radical Islam in my nation. And I know that's one of those things that can get you condemned, but it is what it is, right? It's a concern. How you could think it's not a concern is beyond me. How could it not be a concern? It's a concern. We're worried. We have questions. We have questions for the Muslim population, the non-radical Muslim population that never seems to know anything about anything. Right? They're like the shut up Italians before the mafia got taken down. I don't even know anybody. I don't know him. I don't know what he said. I don't know what he did. I don't know his brother. I know he was very quiet and very nice. Never said anything to anyone. Who is he? I never heard of him. So we have questions. We have concerns. And in 2017, we are experiencing the year of the prepper. We are experiencing the threats from the world itself. We're experiencing threats from the people around us like never before. We're experiencing what it is, what moving into the 21st century is and what it's going to be. You know, that's what it is. It's not a game. It's not a game anymore. For a while, this thing was a game, and people would laugh, and people would mock you, and tell you that you're silly. What are you doing? You would hide things. Put canned food in a door, open the door, and slide it down in between the in between the particle board of the door or whatever, because you knew people would have questions, and you didn't want to answer questions. You just wanted to go about your business. You wanted to be ready. All that's changing. Trust me. I live in this market. This is my world. This is my world, and I'm ever grateful to be a part of it. Never forget it. All right? I was like, I'm the prodigal son. Right? I'm the wasteful son of the prepper movement. That's me. That's exactly what I am. Right? I came into I made my bones here. I got a little full of myself, and I decided, you know what, I'm not going to call myself a prepper anymore. I used to tell people, we need to get away from this prepper name. It's ruined. It's pissed on. It's disheveled. Nat Geo destroyed us. And then I ran off. I ran off to spend my inheritance, I ran off to see the world with my own little podcast, and I went to see what I could drum up with my own thoughts and my own aspirations. Still talking about preparedness and community preparedness and the threats, but separating myself from the word prepper. And then I had an epiphany. And the epiphany was that all the people who support me, the website that I'm broadcast on, all the links and all the love, and then once I jumped careers, all the people who paid me were preppers. And you know what else I realized? They're all great people. Now, I'm not saying everyone, everywhere, is a great person. But every prepper I know is a great person. They're a struggling person. They're a person who's trying to make it in this world. They're good people. They're Christian people. They're funny people. They're people. So I returned. The prodigal son returned. And I came back to my senses and I said to myself, look, this is my community. You know, if you're lucky enough a human being, you find a community in life. Some people never do. They live in total isolation their whole life. They jump from one train to the next, trying to find where they belong. I'm lucky. I found my community. Found it in my mid to late 20s. And I'm here. I have returned. I've returned from the mean and nasty world to the people who were there for me from day one. And I thank you for it. And I'm devoted to this movement more than ever because, well, like I said, it's not a game anymore. And people are going to figure that out even more as we roll from 2017 into 2018. So I'll be right back after this. I'm going to go buy some groceries. And I'm going to love every second of it. I'm going to massage the salmon. I'm going to look over the rolls. Oh, God. So because of the hurricanes, the shootings, because of the wildfires in California, some countries like the UK are warning their people not to come stay at America for vacation or a holiday. Kind of funny. Interesting. I just saw somebody's car catch on fire, and I don't think I've ever seen a car burn the way that car burned. It was incredible. Standing in line, paying for the goods. I look out the window, and this giant SUV is on fire like, I guess it was an oil fire. It looked like something along those lines. It was unbelievable. It was an inferno. And then I was made sick by the people around me because rather than get their phone out and call 911, rather than go out and help, everybody ran to the window and started taking pictures of it. And it was so terrible. You know, it just sickened me. You get sick from people if you're not careful. You get into the mindset that, well, you walk around and you can get into the mindset very easily, especially if you buy into another person's enmity for you. You know, so if you get to the point where you're believing someone's enmity for you, and it's affecting the way you interact with them, you can get to the point where you're like, I don't know if I like this thing anymore. I don't know if I like this humanity game anymore. But the reality is you got to soldier on, right? You have to soldier on within the parameters of this life. You got to help people whether they want to help you or not. You got to smile at people. I can't tell you the importance of the fist bump and the smile in the game of situational awareness. You want to get into that? You want to get into that number real quick? We can talk situational awareness. I read a lot of articles every week, and some situational awareness articles are... It's hard to come up with tips. You know what I mean? It's tough to come up with tips, real tips. Like you could do this line. You could do this line all day and night, right? This is the line. People are always in their phones. They have no idea what's going on. The average person is living in a complete and total fog of reality because of their electronics. If they don't have their head up, they're not looking around, they'd be oblivious to an attack. Like the first paragraph of every situational awareness article. And I understand it's a tough thing to write on, it's a tough thing to talk about because it's hard to give tips. Pay attention. I mean, that's the gist of it, right? Pay attention. There's more. There are ways to get around it. I've got a great soundtrack here from two cars that are playing their music, and it's blending, and I can't tell which song is which rapper is which. They sound almost identical. But let me give you some tips on situational awareness. All right, I'll give you one that I use because like I said, it's a tough one to hammer down. It's a tough thing to give tips on because the bottom line is pay more attention, pay closer attention. How do you pay attention to everybody though? I mean, we all look at our phone for some reason. Wife's calling, text from mom, whatever it is. When it comes to situational awareness for me, I think about it like this. The further The further away the threat, the more time I have to react, the more time you have to react because of the fact that people around you are going to react, right? So the threats that are way, way far away, you don't have to really comb the environment for those threats. You know, I'm talking you're in a group, you're in a crowd, you're on a popular street, whatever it is, you're in a club. Obviously, you always want to be aware of exits. But let's talk about threats in a much closer proximity, right? Because that's when you get in trouble. You have to be cognizant of what's around you all the time, who's around you, that type of situation. That's a no-brainer, right? That's one that makes it into one of those token blogs. I want to tell you how to assault people with situational awareness. Okay, and this can help you out in many ways in life, many ways. But the way I go on the offensive with situational awareness is something that I call high and look in the eyes, right? Highs and look in the eyes. Because you can take a deterring posture, right? You can use this even to an attacker, you can use this as a deterrent before they make the decision to attack. Now, you'll never know, right? That's the thing about this. You'll never know if the guy was going to attack you or not. You'll never know what could have been. And who cares? But I believe that this works. And I believe that not only does this work from the standpoint of situational awareness, but I think it also works from just being a good guy, good gal, whatever. When I'm walking with my family, or when I'm walking by myself and we're walking down a street and somebody hits my mental cues, right? Be it across the street or walking on the same side of the street as me. The first thing I'm doing is looking for eyes. And I do this with everybody anyway. Like with everybody, I'm looking for eyes and giving highs. I want to see your eyes. I want to say hello to you. I do that with everybody. And the reason I do it with everybody is because, first of all, I'm a nice guy and I like to say hi to people. I think that you can seriously affect a person by pulling them out of their fog and saying, "Hey man, what's up? Nice shirt." Fist bumping a dude that walks by for no reason. Right? For no reason. No, you don't know him. No reason. The fist bump changes everything. A black guy taught me that not long ago. I told you this story. It blew my mind. It changed my world. But I've always said hi. I've wave. I'll say hi. I'll look you right in the eyes. And when you see a suspect person in your proximity, attack. Attack in that manner. Don't reach for the concealed carry. Don't reach for the knife. No. Look at them right in the eyes and you engage. You engage like a respectful person. And do it loud. Draw attention. That's the thing. That's the thing that changes with me. It's the volume and the aggression. But it's not aggression like you think. It's not like I'm going to push you or I'm going to give you one of those crazy old guy handshakes where they try to break your bones. It's not like that, you know? You know, you walk by people who look like they don't want to be bothered. You can read people. Look like people who don't want to be bothered. They're just trying to get by you and go do what they want. Hey, how you doing? Hey, how you doing? Nice and easy, you know. But if I'm walking by a guy and he's peeking up at me and he might have a hood up or something's looking a little off, I'm not going to throw any generics because people will cry. And it's not always the same. It's not a racial thing. It's not a clothing thing. But it's just a combination of things. It's a posture. It's an approach. You've seen it. You've been in that situation. Ladies in particular who've walked by a person that they've been like, ooh, I don't know about this situation. Well, when you're in a situation like that, be aggressive in your hello. Be aggressive in seeking out that person's eyes and be loud. Be very loud about it. Hey, man, how are you? Hey, what's going on? Be loud. Bring attention. The last thing this guy wants is attention, right? The last thing this person wants is anybody else around the street to see him. God knows what he's done. God knows what he's planning on doing. So you automatically become, a deterrent to this guy. If it's a bad guy. And if it's not a bad guy, then, hey, you're just saying, hey, what's up? How you doing? But when it comes to situational awareness, that is how I attack with situational awareness. I do it through politeness, I do it through saying hello, and I do it through looking at your eyes. And the more of a threat I think you are, the louder I'm going to do it. Not till it's like out of control and ostentatious and ridiculous, but to the point that I might even shake you a little. Right? I might even make you shake a little bit. Like there might be a little flinch situation. It's going to come as a moderate amount of surprise, that's all. You're not going to walk behind me. You're not going to sneak around the corner and pretend like, none of that's happening. I'm going to acknowledge you, and I'm going to acknowledge you at a decent distance, too. That's the other part of that, right? People who look safe, who look like, there's nothing to worry about, and you see a lot of them. That's the majority of people. You can say hello, look them in the eyes, and do it when they're pretty close by. But if someone's coming up at a pace that you're not comfortable with, you hit them, and you hit them when they're far away. How you doing, man? Sometimes you can just do it loud, you just do it, how you doing, man? And they get a little like, you'll see a little flinch job, and maybe that might not mean they're trying to do anything bad. That might mean you took them off guard. But you know what? It makes them aware of you, and you more aware of them, and everyone around you becomes aware of this situation. And I use this all the time, man. I use this all the time. And if you have a family and you're looking to avoid confrontation, because you don't want to be the dad who gets in a fight and has to fight in front of your kids and your wife. There's too much risk. There's just too much risk in fighting. There is. It's too much risk. You get punched in the head and die. It happens every year. People get punched one time in the head, die. Punched, knocked out, head hits the pavement, dead. You have no idea what can happen in a fight. And the vast majority of people don't know how to fight. So you're putting yourself at greater risk. This is a way to do it to avoid an altercation. I mean, there's going to be people, if someone is hell-bent on robbing you, you can just say, hey, how you doing, man? What's up? They're going to come at you anyway, and then it's on. And then it's a struggle for life and death. That's what it is. You know the terms then. You're not being taken by surprise. You know the terms. You know exactly what the situation is. There's no surprises. And that's what you want. You want to dictate, right? You want to be the man who dictates. You want to be the person who dictates the terms. Here I am. Listen, my man, here I am. Okay? I see you, now you see me, everyone around us sees us. That's my move. Now you can go ahead and move your pawn, and we'll see how it goes from there. So when you talk about situational awareness, and you talk about this whole idea of talking about being aware of your surroundings, being aware of your surroundings is good and it's important, and it's a must. Right? It's a must nowadays. The most terrible people, the animals of the world, the two-legged animals of the world who walk bipedal like the rest of us, are looking for people who are in their phones. They're looking for frail people. They're looking for people with this poor, hunched-over posture who don't look like they pose any type of threat. That's what they're looking for. Don't be that person. The truth of the matter is you got to have tactics. You should have tactics. And that's one of my favorite tactics. So look for me tomorrow. I'll be up. We'll be tweeting live. We'll be having a good time. And that's it for me, folks.